And if the invasion fails, the war could be lost permanently, because there would be no second chance. Meanwhile, across occupied Europe, millions of people wait. They wait for the sound of Allied aircraft overhead. They wait for the arrival of foreign soldiers who will free their cities. They wait for liberation. On the night of June 5, 1944, over 150,000 Allied soldiers sat inside ships, staring into darkness. Some held letters from home. Some stared at their rifles. Some said nothing at all. They all knew what was coming. By sunrise, they would storm the beaches of Normandy. By sunset, many of them would be dead. This invasion had one purpose: to end Hitler's control of Europe. Without it, the war could not be won. But in this timeline, those soldiers never leave their ships, because the invasion never happens, and the world is never the same again. It begins with a storm. Not an ordinary storm, but a violent, relentless wall of wind and waves crashing across the English Channel. Ships rock uncontrollably in their harbors. Landing craft slam into each other. Commanders watch helplessly as the weather refuses to improve. They delay the invasion one day, hoping the storm will pass. It doesn't. They delay it again and again.
The storm won't let up. We must delay again. Another day lost. The men are on edge. The window is closing.
Each delay feels temporary, but something important is happening across the Channel. In France, German soldiers continue building their defenses. Every hour gives them more time. Every day makes them stronger. Hitler had always feared invasion from the West. He knew it was coming eventually.
The invasion will come here, at Normandy. We must fortify Brezhnev. We are ready.
That's why he ordered the construction of the Atlantic Wall, a massive chain of bunkers, artillery, mines, and defenses stretching across the coastline. In real history, it was incomplete when the invasion began. In this timeline, it isn't. Because the invasion never comes, Germany is given the one thing it needed most: time. Weeks turn into months. Allied commanders continue preparing, but the situation changes rapidly. German defenses grow stronger than anyone imagined. Beaches become death traps. Every possible landing point is covered by artillery. Every approach is protected by layers of fortifications. The element of surprise disappears completely. German forces are no longer guessing where the invasion might happen. They are ready everywhere. In London, Allied commanders study their maps with growing concern.
This sector is heavily fortified. We need another approach. Agreed. But our airborne options are limited.
Every scenario leads to catastrophic losses.
My God, look at those defenses. Every landing point is marked as a death trap. Catastrophic. We must reconsider.
Hundreds of thousands of soldiers could die in the first days alone. And if the invasion fails, the war could be lost permanently, because there would be no second chance. Meanwhile, across occupied Europe, millions of people wait. They wait for the sound of Allied aircraft overhead. They wait for the arrival of foreign soldiers who will free their cities. They wait for liberation. Resistance fighters sabotage railroads and communication lines, hoping to weaken German control before the invasion. They risk their lives every day, believing help is coming soon, but help never comes.
Patrol coming. Stay down. I see nothing up there. They said dawn. Where are they? No one is coming.
Days become weeks. Weeks become months. Slowly, hope begins to fade. Not suddenly, quietly, because hope is easier to lose than to keep. In Germany, something unexpected begins to happen. Confidence grows.
The momentum builds. Our forces and our grumbles. Berlin stands defiant.
At first, Hitler suspects deception. He believes the invasion must be coming eventually, but as more time passes, he begins to realize the truth. The Allies cannot invade. Not anymore. Not against defenses this strong. German factories continue producing tanks, aircraft, and weapons.
Schneller, die Produktion muss erhöht werden. Die Maschinen laufen auf Hochtouren.
German soldiers continue strengthening their positions. Their fear of invasion slowly disappears, replaced by something else. Belief. Belief that they have survived the most dangerous threat to their empire. Far to the east, the Soviet Union continues its brutal war against Germany. Soviet soldiers fight through ruined cities and frozen battlefields, pushing German forces back. Mile by mile, they suffer enormous losses, but they continue advancing. In real history, D-Day forced Germany to divide its army. It had to send soldiers west to defend against invasion, weakening its eastern front. In this timeline, that never happens. German divisions remain in the east. Tanks that would have been destroyed in France now fight Soviet soldiers instead. Aircraft that would have defended Normandy now attack Soviet supply lines. The Soviet advance slows, not because Soviet soldiers lack courage, but because Germany is stronger than expected. Without invasion from the west, Germany can focus entirely on survival. And survival is enough. In Britain, the war begins to feel endless. The invasion plans still exist, but they grow more unrealistic with every passing month. German defenses have become too strong. The cost of invasion would be unbearable. Thousands of ships remain in harbors unused. Hundreds of thousands of soldiers remain waiting, with nothing to do. They had trained to liberate Europe. Now they wait, knowing liberation may never come. Churchill understands the situation better than anyone. He knows Britain cannot win the war alone. Without invasion, Germany cannot be defeated completely. But invasion is no longer possible. The moment has passed, and moments like that never return. In America, military leaders face a terrible reality. They had built the most powerful army in the world. They had prepared for the largest invasion in history. They had expected to end the war. Now, they cannot, because war is not won by preparation. It is won by action, and action never came. America remains powerful, but powerless to change Europe's fate. By 1946, Europe looks very different. Germany still controls most of the continent. Its army remains intact. Its borders remain defended. Its empire survives. The Soviet Union continues fighting, but victory is uncertain. Every advance costs millions of lives. Without Western invasion, the war drags on endlessly. Britain remains free but isolated. America remains safe but distant. The war has no clear ending, only continuation. Children grow up in occupied cities, knowing nothing but German control. Resistance movements grow weaker with every passing year. The dream of liberation becomes something distant, something uncertain. Germany never wins the war completely, but it never loses it either. And sometimes, survival is the greatest victory of all. History would remember this war differently, not as a war of liberation, but as a war that was never finished. Because D-Day was not just an invasion, it was the turning point. It was the moment that allowed Europe to be freed, and without that moment, the future changes completely. Because sometimes, history is not shaped by the battles that happen, but by the battles that never do. And in this timeline, the ships never leave, the soldiers never liberated.